Hello guys, welcome back to another Paladins video, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you about every single item there is in Paladins and what it does. Little side note, you might notice a little outfit change. I forgot to record the intro to this video, and I'm editing it right now to get it ready for you guys, and I was like, didn't have an intro, so here you go. If you guys didn't notice already, the timestamps are on the screen right now, and with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright guys, to start off the items we are going to be going over, we are going to be starting with Illuminate. Now, Illuminate is a very effective item with dealing with stealth champions. Mainly Sky and Strix are the two most popular ones, and what it does is it increases the units that you can see stealth champions from. Now, for example, with level 1 costing 150 credits, that range will be increased to 15 units. At level 2, increased to 30 units, and at level 4, increased to 45 units. Now, unless the other team has a stealth champion, you really don't need to be buying this item, but if they do, sometimes it's helpful to pick up. Alright, so this next item we are going to be going over is a very, very important item, and this comes into play in a lot of games, especially in ranked. Now, this item is Resilience, and what it does is it reduces the effect of crowd control, and crowd control is something that can stun you, that can slow you down, that can burn you, and overall, this is a very, very effective card. And it reduces it periodically based on the level. At the base level of 1, which costs 200 credits, it's 25%. At level 2, it's 50%. And at level 3 is 75%. Now, this is very, very effective in a lot of games. Now, some things that this affects is banishing, being crippled, being feared, being flashbanged, getting knocked back, getting knocked up, Maeve's Midnight ult, Pip's Polymorph ult, Grover's Root, Torvald's Silence, slowing effects, stun effects, and Genos's Void Grip ability. Now, this is a ton of abilities and a ton of examples, and there are so many more. So this is almost always a requirement to pick up if the other team has any kind of CC control. So the next item that we have is Guardian. Now this item is good only on front lines, and what it does is it increases the effectiveness of your shields by 7% per rank. So that means at level 1 it's going to increase the effectiveness by 7%, and level 2 it's going to increase it by 14, and level 3 it will be 21. Now this goes up in 300, 600, 900 credit ratio, and it's pretty good if you're playing point tank and you have a shield, because it really allows you to absorb a ton of damage. Now, finally, wrapping up the defensive items, we have one of the best items in the game, and that is Haven. Haven can go on any champion and is effective on any champion. What it does is it reduces the damage you take from direct damage and area damage by 5.5%. And this is only at level 1. At level 2, it's 11%, and at level 3, it's 16.5%. This might not seem like significant numbers, but this will help you stay alive longer and take more damage and help you get out of sticky situations you didn't think possible. Okay, next up we are going to be moving on to the utility items. You can recognize these because they are the yellow items. The first one we are going to be going over is Nimble, and this costs 150, 300, 450 for levels 1, 2, and 3. Now, what this this item does is it lets you be faster. At level 1 you gain 7% more movement speed, 14% at level 2, and finally 21% at level 3. Now this card is very helpful for slow champions as well as champions that lack in the movement ability category. Some champions that really benefit from this are Sky and Terminus. This next item is very situational, and really the most common place I can see it being used is on ice mines. Now this item is called Master Riding, and it increases the speed you are on your horse. Now the reason I say this is because most of the maps are pretty small and you can get to where you want to be pretty fast. unlike Ice Mines is a very long map, and if you're on the attack and you die, it takes you a good 20 seconds to get back to the actual fight. So this is very important on Ice Mines, but also if you're a frontline champion, you just want to beat the other frontline champions to the point, this can also be beneficial. This next item is very good for some champions that have very powerful ultimates. Some examples might be Khan or Drogos or any other champion that has a one-hit KO ultimate. Now, this item is morale boost, and what it does is it increases the rate your ultimate charges by 10% at level 1, 20% at level 2, and a whopping 30% at level 3. Now the cost for this is going to be 250, 500, and 750 for each level respectively, but this is a very good item to buy if your ultimate is super impactful in team fights. The final item in the utility category is Chronos. This is a very strong item as well if you are a champion that has long cooldowns. Because what this does is, just like Morale Boost, it is 10%, 20%, 30% for each level, but it reduces the cooldown of every single one of your abilities. Does not include the ultimate, but your other abilities, this reduces the cooldown of it. The cost is going to be 300, 600, and 900 credits, but if you're playing a champion that has really long cooldowns, this might be a worthy item for you to pick up. With the defensive and the utility items out of the way, let's move down to the third row, which is the healing items. The first one up on the list is Kill to Heal. Now, Kill to Heal is very powerful if you're getting a lot of eliminations. The reason for this is because at level 1, it will heal you for 300 health, level 2, it will heal you for 600 health, and at level 3, it will heal you for 900 health every kill or elimination. The cost for this is 200, 400, and 600 for each level, respectively. This is very balanced item. It sounds overpowered, but Cauterize, which everybody gets, is counteracts it, but it is still very good to have and can save you in tight situations. This next item is very similar to Kill to Heal, but in my opinion, not as good unless your damage that you're doing is in big chunks of damage, or you're shooting very quickly. Now, this item is Life Rip, and what it does is each of your weapon shots will gain lifesteal. At level 1, it is 10%, at level 2, it is 20%, and at level 3, it is 30%. This is a good passive way to be getting even tiny bits of heals that will let you stay alive just a little bit longer, and possibly allow you to survive those close 1v1s. This next item is very focused towards tanks or frontline champions, and the reason for this is because it increases the healing you receive from others. Now, this is very important for tanks that have those big health bars, and they need more health to stay healthy, and that is what Rejuvenate does for you. Now, Rejuvenate has 8% increased healing, or receive healing, increased at 16% for level 2 and increased to 24% at level 3. The cost for this is 200, 400, 600, so it's pretty cheap, and honestly, if you're a tank, you should be getting this because it keeps you alive a lot longer than without. This last item we had used to be terrible, but now that they've reworked it, is possibly one of the best items in the game. Now, what this item does is it will increase the base maximum health of your champion. This can be effective on tanks. It can also be effective on one certain support, Lilith, that if you guys are interested, in about 2 weeks I will be making a guide on how to play her, and if you want more guides, check out the playlist linked. That'll show you to some other guides. But anyway, on with Veteran. Now, Veteran is very powerful because, like I said, it increases your base health. And if you have a large health pool, 10%, 15%, 5% of that is a huge amount. It goes up by 5% at each level, and again, the cost is 200, 400, and 600 credits. Now we are moving on to our last 4 items which fall into the offensive category. The first one up we have is Bulldozer. And this is very good if you are dealing with, say, an Amani or an Io, because it increases the damage you do to pets or deployables in the case of a barrack. And this is very good and it's very cheap. It's 150, 300, and 450, and it increases your damage by 25%, 50%, and 75%. You will be almost doing double the damage to deployables and pets. Now, say you have an Amani dragon that is really bugging you, get a legend with quick fire rate and I'll give this to them. That dragon will never be a problem for the rest of the game. The next item we have is Death Hands. Now this is a very effective weapon depending on the champion you are playing. If you have a champion that pours out damage, or a champion that has a really slow reload, or a champion that has a special ability or a talent that goes with their reload, this is the card for you. It increases your reload speed by 20%, 40%, and then 60% at level 3, and the cost of it is 250, 500, and 750. Some champions I recommend getting this on is Koga sometimes, Dredge 100%, and Betty La Boomba is 100% 3 champions that I recommend getting this card on. This next card is Provision, and its cost is 250, 500, and 750, and what it does is after an elimination it restores some of your ammo, this being 15% at level 1, 30% at level 2, and 45% at level 3. Me personally, I haven't really found a lot of use for this item, but I'm assuming if you play a legend that is very spray-y and has a lot of ammo, this could be helpful. Constantly replenishing ammo. If you guys use it, tell me in the comments down below how it works for you, and tell others that it's a good item and that they should consider getting it. The final item we are going to be going over in this video is Wrecker. Now what Wrecker does is it increases the damage you are going to be doing to shields, and if the opponents have a lot of shields, oh my god is this necessary. At level 1, you are already dealing 30% increased damage, and guess what? It goes up by 30% at every level. So it goes 30, then 60, then 90% increased damage to shields. If you get to level 3, you are going to be doing almost double the damage to shields, and those shields might as well not even exist. The item is still kind of expensive, being 300, 600, and 900, but the enemy team is just staying alive by hiding behind shields. This is 100% an item I would recommend buying. Well, that's it guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you found it helpful, entertaining, or both, make sure to leave a like, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and share it to a friend. And let's grow this community and teach people more about the great games of Paladins. I'll see you guys in the realm.